Mandarin, you don't call the hairstyle when someone brushes strands of hair over a bald spot a comb-over, but instead use the expression, the localities support the central government. Just as a footnote to that one, in French they describe a comb-over as bringing the suburbs to the town centre. And my favourite Swedish name for a comb-over is a Robin Hood hairstyle, because it takes from the rich and gives to the poor. A Korean phrase that can be directed at a chatterbox is, you would talk to the birds if your lips were pointy. I should also mention here my favourite German phrase about a chatterbox, which is, when this person dies, we'll have to kill the mouth separately. So, in 2007, a man was stopped in the street just outside a shop by a Guangzhou TV reporter. The man was asked about a sex scandal that was all over the news at the time, and his response has been a popular Chinese slang phrase for not getting involved ever since. The man said, "I'm just here to buy soy sauce." In German, a way of saying nothing lasts forever, like this event exactly, is everything has an end except a sausage, which has two. I should probably make a German sausage joke here, but to be frank, I think such jokes are the worst. A German version of "let me give you my opinion," or "these are my 2 cents," translates to "I would like to add my mustard." No direct mention of the sausage in that one, but it is still implied. In this country, of course, an old expression for giving your opinion is "let me give my 2pence worth." Although when you want someone else's opinion, you say "a penny for your thoughts." This suggests English people consider their own opinions twice as valuable as those of others, which perhaps explains a lot about where we are today. A little bit of political commentary for you. So here's one more list of dad phrases, this time for when the lights have been left on. Number 5, here in the north of England, a dad might say, "It's like the Blackpool illuminations in here." At least that was a favourite of my Lancashire granddad, who I was raised by. Number 4, from Hindi, "Is it Diwali again?" Diwali, of course, involves quite a few lights. Number 3, from Croatian, "Are we living in Bethlehem?" Number 2, from French, "We're not in Versailles." And number 1, from Serbian, "Was your grandpa Nikola Tesla?" Nikola Tesla, who was, of course, famous for always leaving the lights on. A colloquial French version of "there are a few sandwiches short of a picnic" translates to "they're not the most oxygenated trout in the river." Let me just add another couple of French variants here, which are "they're not the penguin that slides the farthest," and returning again to a national obsession, "they have the brains of a cheese sandwich." And there are hundreds of alternatives to "a few sandwiches short of a picnic" from other languages too, and as you may have guessed, I'm now going to share a list, 5 more of them with you. Number 5, from Finnish, "They don't have all the moomins in the valley." Number 4, from Venezuelan Spanish, "Intelligence is chasing them, but they are faster." Almost sounds like a compliment at first, that one, but it definitely isn't. Number 3, from Persian, "Their head is taking penalties against their arse." Number 2, from Korean, "Is your head a decoration?" And speaking of insults that suggest someone's head is empty or almost empty, say that in 1949, in a parliamentary session in New Zealand, one member said of another member that his brains could revolve inside a peanut shell for 1,000 years and never touch the sides. I'll also add here that there's a Kenyan proverb that can be used when someone is being loudly ignorant that goes, unlike the stomach, the brain does not alert you when empty. And number one, a Swedish version of a few sandwiches short of a picnic is the wheel is spinning, but the hamster is dead. I'll now read you out a list of 5 of the most savage curses I've come across from around the world. Number 5, a Serbian curse is, may your wife give birth to a centipede, so you spend your life working for shoes. Centipede shoes are, of course, notoriously expensive. Number 4, a curse from the ever-colourful Turkish language is, may the bow of a violin enter your anus. Number 3, a biblical Bosnian curse is, let it be the will of God that you shit yourself. Poop curses aren't my favourite type of curses, but they are a solid. Number 2, probably the most well-known Irish curse is, may the cat eat you and may the devil eat the cat. But if you're looking for a rarer gem, let me suggest the incredibly harsh, may your obituary be written in weasel's piss. There's one more that is even harsher still, however, and that one goes, may the devil use your backbone as a ladder to pick apples in the garden of hell. Yikes. If you thought the last curse was brutal, please brace yourself for this one. From Slovenia, which goes as follows, I hope your tractor breaks. Number 3, a Dutch name for a made-up story or an urban legend is a monkey sandwich story. Just on the subject of sandwiches, not many people know this, but Salvador Dali used to own a sandwich shop. It was called Salvador Deli, and it specialised in melts. Little joke for the art appreciators there. Moving swiftly on. Number 2, an old Dutch expression about people who are always boasting about their children is, everybody thinks their owl is a falcon. And I should add here that my favourite phrase about one-upmanship, not about children necessarily, but just in general, is the Irish expression, if you've been to Tenerife, he's been to 11erife. Back to the Dutch list. Number 1, instead of saying I don't care or I don't give 2 hoots, in Dutch you could say it can oxidise on my anus. At the start of the hour, I told you all about the Hungarian way of saying it's good to see you all, which is the wind blew the trash together. And I'm a bit worried I've contributed to the stereotype that the Hungarian language is always blunt, vulgar even. So let me now read you out a list of 5 Hungarian phrases that will convince you of just how gentle and poetic the Hungarian language can be. Number 5, a Hungarian expression that can be used to comment on someone's singing translates to, your voice is erotic. It fucks my ears. Number 4, a Hungarian expression that can be used to comment on someone's appearance is, if you went down a mine, the coal would come up by itself. Number 3, a Hungarian expression that can be used to comment on someone's intellect is, mentally, you are a sock. Number 2, a Hungarian equivalent to I smell a rat, used of course when something seems wrong or suspicious, is there's shit in the pancake. And number 1, in Hungary you wouldn't use the phrase a bad workman blames his tools, but instead say, if the duck can't swim, it's not the water that's stupid. I really have given a bad impression of it now. So, to put that right, let me share with you a couple of genuinely non-vulgar Auckland phrases. First, there's a lovely way of saying good night in Hungary, often said to children at bedtime, and it translates to, I'm putting myself away until tomorrow. Exactly. And speaking of cute phrases for children, Hungarians don't ask little children, why are you crying? Instead they say, why are you giving drinks to the mice? Correct response, again, some fine audiencing work right there. As a side note, there's also a poetic Mexican phrase said to children who are crying a lot, which is, the colour is going to wash away from your eyes. Now you're just showing off. I'm going to leave you with my favourite blessing from Indigenous Australia, and it goes, may the wombat of happiness snuffle through your underbrush.